Mamata Didi's prestige and her well-crafted, simpleton image were staring downward towards the Bay of Bengal, with mountains of cash and gold oozing continuously from Partha Chatterjee's closet, Arpita's flats. Cornered from all sides, cornered even from within her own party. Mamata Banerjee forced to take a call, and she sacks her erstwhile cabinet minister. First from the cabinet, followed by ouster and suspension from the very powerful Political Affairs Committee and even the party.
That Trinamool will be the last one to tolerate any kind of irregularity or corruption when it comes to such kind of incident which is cropped up in the public domain. And there will be zero tolerance approach towards corruption. If someone has done something which is a grave offence and which has put the public interest in distress and has highlighted and focused on his own interest rather than serving the people at large of the state, action will be taken and action should be taken. As a party member and a functionary, we all have deliberated upon amongst ourselves and reached the conclusion that he should be suspended from the party, and the Chief Minister also has removed him from her cabinet.
Mamata Banerjee took 6 days to act against Partha Chatterjee. Perhaps because he's been with her through all thick and thin. He's literally been the number 2 in the party. He's been Trinamool's founding member. But then, party leaders like her nephew, that is Abhishek Banerjee, netas like Kunal Ghosh and many more, reportedly applied a lot of pressure for a drastic action against Partha Chatterjee. Mamata was, or rather is, in deep trouble. What also, remember, can't be ruled out here is the possibility of Mamata herself creating this entire party chorus to act against the cash man. After all, netas, they never compromise when their own party, their present, and their own political future is at stake. Given the fact that there is this mountain of cash that, remember, keeps getting higher and higher, there was pressure, not just from within the party, but also from the outside. The BJP literally breathing down Mamata's neck 24/7. The BJP even going on to say and allege that this cash trail may lead to the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. She had no option left but to wriggle out, though it may be temporary. Why I say this? Because given the BJP's resolve to unsettle, to rattle Mamata, it looks like the story has just begun. See, no doubt, Mamata's stock has taken a beating. The BJP is not going to leave her easy, and for good. That is very clear, that is visible. So, her carefully curated image, built over years, today is facing its biggest test. That image of Mamata Banerjee with her trademark white cotton sari, the Hawaii chappals, someone who's always fighting the system despite being in office. Now just superimpose that image with this image of this ever-rising mountain of cash. This recovered from the closet of her number 2 mantri in the cabinet. So what is Mamata doing? Mamata is trying to cut her losses. She is trying to distance herself and her party, even disown Partha Chatterjee. But the question is, will this damage control now even work? Is sacking of Partha Chatterjee the end of Mamata's troubles, or this is just the beginning? Has Mamata's political downside already begun? Can she today somehow arrest this decline with the sacking of Partha Chatterjee? For how long can Mamata Banerjee hold her party together? Now, there is this buzz, and a lot of that buzz that you can hear in Kolkata about more ministers who could be in the firing line of the Enforcement Directorate. So Mamata Banerjee right now is vulnerable. Mamata Banerjee is wounded. Factionalism within the Trinamool has been playing out for some months now. I think you must have even seen it, heard it. There is this sense that, there are these old loyalists like Partha Chatterjee, and then there is this new guard around her nephew, that is Abhishek Banerjee. So there is this battle within the party, even though talks of friction could be exaggerated at the moment, particularly about the power that Abhishek wields. Now, the old guard has complained of being slighted. And today, with Partha being arrested, with Partha being exposed, does this Abhishek Banerjee faction become more dominant? So Abhishek himself, if you remember, has ED inquiries going against him. And the BJP will no doubt exploit these divisions because they see a wounded Mamata Banerjee in a way as someone who can be brought down easily. So will the fear of the BJP unite these two factions, or will the TMC just implode? You remember what happened 24 hours ago? Will actor Mithun Chakrabarty's claims turn out to be true? No one knows. No one knows. No one can afford to ignore Mamata for sure. Certainly not. Though the Panchayat and later the big battle of 2024 is still some time away, but what about the battle of perception? That is extremely important for any neta. Because the buzz is that with pressure that continues to mount on, Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek may be forced to strike a compromise, some kind of a deal. But who's going to listen? Though, again I say, we never know. In politics, we never know. But Mamata is known for her mercurial surprises. And history is testimony to this. Just some days ago, remember, from publicly blocking Dhankar on Twitter in the month of February earlier this year, Mamata Banerjee agrees for a cozy tea party with him and the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma in Darjeeling. And this on the eve of the presidential elections. And later, as you have 13 opposition parties who are meeting on a day that Sonia Gandhi is being grilled by the Enforcement Directorate, and they even put together a joint statement calling out the alleged vendetta of the centre by unleashing agencies selectively on the opposition. Who's missing? Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee is absent from that meet. She didn't sign on that statement. So she wrecks whatever little is left of opposition unity by announcing her decision to abstain from the vice presidential elections, refusing to support opposition's Margaret Alva. Not a single opposition party, not a single opposition neta has either condemned this mountain of corruption or has even declared any support for Mamata ever since this case came to light. Right now, Mamata is beleaguered. She is isolated. The Delhi dream looks to have gone for a toss. What's her priority? She has to save her fortress first, her bastion. Though cornered, as for public consumption, she has geared up the attack on the BJP. She's trying to put a brave face, more so after Partha's sacking. The TMC now is accusing the BJP of shielding scamsters like Nirav Modi and company, but not forgetting to underscore how the Trinamool has acted. Bravado, brave face, perhaps an act in redemption. One can say with conviction here that Mamata is facing the battle of her life, And much now is going to be depending on what happens next. How will Mamata navigate this entire crisis? Many of her party leaders are on the radar of the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI. And as per reports, as I mentioned earlier, this also includes her nephew Abhishek Banerjee. The BJP is or must be waiting for this moment. And they are. They will pounce on Bengal with a big bang attack on Mamata's fortress. We'll track that story very, very closely. In case you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the News You Don't Get, where we try to get you the inside track to stories that matter. For the moment, thank you.